So before this TED Talk starts, I wanted to have a little side note first. I really wanted to challenge myself with this, and I actually talk about free will and how that's what our life is based on, but I actually believe in fate. I am a Christian and I believe in God, and so I believe that He planned everything out for us, but I do know that He allows us to have free will. But yes, I wanted to take a leap and go completely saying that free will is the answer, but in the end I kind of more touch on fate. So I guess everyone has their own opinion, but enjoy.
In the time of fear, a time of deceiving, a time of royalty, there are those who are loyal, those who are filled with ambition. It was a time of death.
We gallop through our lives like circus performers, balancing on two speeding side-by-side horses. One foot on the horse is called fate, and the other on the horse is called free will. And the question that you have to ask every day is, which horse is which? Which horse do I need to stop worrying about because it's not under my control? And which horse do I need to steer with concentrated effort? A quote by Elizabeth Gilbert from Eat, Pray, Love. A lot of people have asked what the difference between fate and free will is. My answer to that question is free will is the fate of our actions. What I mean is it's our destiny to decide what we want to do, and every decision will change our future. Life is a maze, and we determine which routes to take. A woman named Erin Paulina wrote her opinion on free will versus fate and used the example of a psychic. Psychics draw a conclusion of an event that is going to occur in a person's life. This means their life is predetermined. Although individuals want to know their future so they can avoid the foreordained situation if it's bad. They're changing their inevitable life. Erin also talked about life as a maze, and our goal is to get to the cheese slices, which serve as big life events, until we reach the end of the maze, which represents death. At every turn, we choose which path to take, hoping to obtain the cheese slices, but many different factors vary our opinion. Free will is like a wild card. If you want, you can enter the maze and go down an interesting corridor and stay there. You don't actually have to go anywhere, and you don't actually have to find any cheese at all. You may smell the cheese in a certain direction, but maybe you're afraid to go down the path that will lead you there. Maybe you're scared, egotistical, determined, depressed, fearful, but every emotion plays a role in our course of action. Emotions influence our decisions. I'm going to get involved with a huge topic here, it being romance. Now, how many times have you heard the phrase, "We're simply meant to be"? After a while, typically a few months or years, the two lovebirds separate. What at first seemed like it was fate for two people to be together turned into a reckless mess. Some were buried inside that relationship where choices made that influenced a partner, the relationship couldn't work anymore. In the movie The Notebook, there are two people with the names of Noah and Allie. They spent one amorous summer together, but were separated after that for 14 years. At this point, Allie is engaged, and Noah is still sulking. During that 14th year, they cross paths and very quickly fall for each other again. It seems like they were destined for each other, but if you really dig deeper, you realize the decisions they made affected the situation. Allie chose to come see Noah, and he pursued seeing her for the time she spent in his living area. The longer they spent together, the more they fell back in love, which led to her breaking it off with her fiancé. Was this fate? I don't think so. If Allie didn't choose to come see Noah, nothing would have changed and she would have gotten married. The heart convinces us to make ignorant decisions, but principles of behavior sometimes keep us from making them. Rules determine our future. Often we don't think about this, but laws and morality play a large role in how or where we end up. For example, if a man decided to slaughter another human being, chances are he'd either be killed or put in prison for the rest of his life. Although, in Macbeth, we see a different outcome. Macbeth was so in love with his foretold fate that he took it to the extremes. 3 witches told him he shall be king, and ambition filled his veins. Vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. A quote by Shakespeare from Macbeth. Morality is the largest factor at this point. He could either choose to let it happen from natural causes, but he feels it necessary to make it happen by his own power. He chooses to kill the king and keep quiet about it, which does get him promoted as king, but he's so fearful of being found out that he continues to annihilate the following heirs. He's setting up his own fate. Death. Now let's keep in mind, another person might argue that the choices we make could have been planned for us. Free will is a large part of our lives, but is it really us making our own decisions? There could, after all, be some higher force or being that laid our lives out and let us live it. That being would know every movement, saying, or breath we are going to take. Or, maybe, the Maker just knows what we are going to do and our outcomes. The divine being didn't plan it all out. It just knows what will happen. Every day we make new decisions and they change our lives. Whether they are influenced by our emotions, supernatural powers, laws, or morality, they arbitrate our life. We don't know where we will end up during our existence, but we know someday we will succumb. Psychics draw a conclusion of an event that will occur in the future, that will occur in the person's life.
Obtain cheese slices with many different factors vary our opinion.
Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Yeah, memorize that!